Ladies and gentlemen from the Flight Blog, Cap Mock speaking. Welcome to another edition of Word on the Ramp, our periodic roundup of all cool things aviation, submitted by and featuring you.
Our top story: while COVID decimated the airline industry in 2020, U.S. airlines are roaring back in 21. As long as you don't mind wearing that face diaper during the entire flight, that is.
Word on the Ramp is
the U.S. has paid $14 billion in stimulus to airlines, helping to mitigate and reverse massive furloughs, layoffs, voluntary leaves, and early retirements. Now, many airlines have canceled leaves, recalled furloughs, and some are even hiring new employees, all prompting a backlog and bottleneck of in-airline pilot training. At least one airline has even suffered from a self-induced pilot shortage when too many pilots had to take a mandatory sick leave after receiving their COVID shots. And just what in the flight level is going on? Along with an increase in air travel has come a huge spike in air rage. According to the FAA, confrontations have doubled. Many incidents concern non-compliance with onboard COVID mask rules, with the FAA slapping some of the worst perps with fines ranging from $9,000 to $20,000 and higher. Moreover, U.S. airlines have temporarily banned at least 3,000 people for refusing to cover their faces. Folks, a word to the wise: whether you like it or not, wear those masks. Misbehave at the gate or in flight, and you may be banned for life, just as this non-compliant congressperson was on Alaska Airlines. A Midair collision in Colorado led to no fatal injuries when a private Cirrus plane collided mid-flight with a Metroliner.
Tower, QM 970, declare an emergency.
Both planes were able to safely return to terra firma, with the Cirrus plane deploying its much-touted parachute. Another safe landing occurred after a Delta Airlines 757 carrying the Utah Jazz suffered an in-flight engine failure and fire after a massive bird strike. The pilots safely landed the plane with no injuries, just as they were trained to do.
I'm a pilot. That's what we do.
While in-flight bird strikes are very common, it is extremely rare when one results in an engine failure, let alone two, as we saw in the Miracle on the Hudson incident. Speaking of dramatic landings, the SpaceX Starship SN-10 prototype rocket made a spectacular launch and landing last month after climbing to an altitude of 6.2 miles and landing 6 minutes and 20 seconds after liftoff. The spectacular landing was followed by a spectacular explosion. While the footage is dramatic, proponents of SpaceX say that much was learned during the test flight and will further help develop even safer landing and recovery systems. A new study has been released regarding Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, the Boeing 777-200ER airliner, which vanished shortly after takeoff on March 8, 2014, along with 227 passengers. A group calling themselves the Independent Group of Scientists claims the plane deliberately maneuvered to avoid radar detection. However, this conflicts with A330 Captain Bill Palmer, author of Understanding Air France 447, and my speculation that it could have been as simple as a catastrophic failure, such as a toxic cargo fire. Regardless, the new report agrees with original conclusions that the probable crash site is somewhere south-southwest of Western Australia. Until the plane is found, the mystery continues. Notices to airmen: a special happy 30th birthday to everyone's favorite captain, Captain Dylan. Congratulations to the retirements of airline captains Tony A., Ed D., and Captain Richard DeCrepney of Black Swan event fame and author of QF32. Congratulations to good blog buddy Craig J., whose gift of my aviation books to his nephews have now inspired the youngest, Elliot G., to take up flying lessons. A special shout out to longtime blog buddy Mark R., who has painstakingly restored a World War II RAF uniform. Congrats to newly minted private pilots Vinny and Shad, students of Team Ox's own John Autopilot Keith. And congrats to Otto's PPL student Garrett, along with wife Christina, who will soon be a husband and wife private pilot team. And speaking of Team Ox's autopilot, finally we leave you with this fun video of Otto giving spin lessons to Carl Hancock of Flying with the Guys YouTube channel.
I just hope I don't throw up.
This video is dedicated to the memory of astronaut and Apollo 11 pilot Michael Collins. This is Captain Ox, spinning off.
I have never been in a cockpit before. You know what all these buttons and switches and knobs are?
I'm a pilot. That's what we do.